You know what, something I haven't done in a long time, like a very long time? This is even before the Strongest of series. This is actually the first set of true long form content that came from the channel, and that is the could this prehistoric creature survive in this modern environment. It's not going to be a common thing, but I just wanted to at least do it once more as a final video for August. Australia is seen as one of the most extreme places on this planet, and it is, with its searing temperatures and multiple venomous organisms that can drop a person in a heartbeat, but there are some places just as extreme or even more so in some cases, such as the Amazon and Africa. Africa is typically known for its savanna or plains with zebras, wildebeest, etc. But it also houses some of the most dangerous mammalian crashouts in the world. Bull elephants that kill dozens every year, all the way to watermelons with teeth that shoot poop everywhere and murk hundreds of people annually. And those are just the herbivores. The carnivores are a problem too. Some even gained legendary status, like Gustav, a Nile crocodile that by himself killed more than 300 people, and the famous man-eaters that killed hundreds when a train track was being built around the area. So it's pretty clear that the African plains are set when it comes to dangerous animals, but what if we add a bull to the mix? No, not Ferdinand. A bull that consumes flesh, stands on two legs, has arms that are not that useful, and a head filled with compact meat-cutting teeth with two horns on top of the head. At first, when you're hearing this, you're probably thinking I'm talking about the demon, but nope, that's the Carnotaurus. This seems unfair, bringing back not only a pretty formidable theropod, but also one of the fastest to the present. But if any modern landmass has fauna to challenge it, it's Africa. So let's see just how well a Carnotaurus would do in a land dominated by mammalian megafauna. But before that, I gotta announce it. We hit 90,000 subscribers, guys. Thank you all for the support. Without you and God, I honestly wouldn't be here. Oh, and one more thing. For the people asking me if rent's that high for me to upload this commonly, you're absolutely right. Nah, I'm kidding. The truth is that some of these videos take me, well, not that long in comparison. Sometimes I can make 2 in a single day. Like, if I really wanted to lock in, no breaks, no distraction, a 9-minute video takes me about 4 to 5 hours, sometimes 6. And a lot of them are pre-recorded. So no, I'm not making videos every single day. No normal person can do that. But hey, you better take it while you can, because the uploads might slow down in September. If you are in the Discord, go join, by the way. We have art events and other good things over there. Then you know my PC is finished. So before the 12th of September, some gaming content will be coming to the channel. Also, I will be using a better editing software for greater quality than this. So naturally, the upload schedule won't be as fast as they used to be. So yeah, take it while you can. So it looks like that at last we're gonna hit 100k mid-October, so a live Q&A is coming up. Hell, might let you guys know some secrets even the Discord doesn't know. Anyway, just want to say thank you again for the support. It really does motivate me to keep pushing out these videos. Anyway, enough of the mushy stuff, let's get on with the video. Carnotaurus was a theropod that lived in late Cretaceous Argentina around 72 million years ago. To be more specific, it was in a group of theropods known as the abelisaurs, who are also known as the bulldogs of theropods for their relatively compact heads and almost useless arms. Now, Carnotaurus is unique for its group, not just with its pair of massive horns that can grow more than 6 inches, that's pretty big, but the fact that it was also likely a top predator. What do I mean by this? Well, okay, not most, but a lot of abelisaurs were not truly the top dog. They were common, but usually second best to the number ones like the Carnotaurus or the Tyrannosaurs, but they've really not thrived more than those groups and were very spread out. However, a few, like Carnotaurus, were the number ones of their environment. At 7 to 8 meters long and a weight of 2 tons, Carnotaurus was no lightweight, and despite this, it could run more than 30 miles per hour. That is terrifying. Anything more than a ton that could outpace the fastest humans will always be eerie to me. What's even more amazing is that its skeleton can withstand that force, because some of the larger animals that run more than 20 miles per hour have 4 legs to disperse the weight while running, but Carnotaurus seems to be one of the few really big theropods that can run and not fast walk without breaking something. There was this documentary called Amazing Dino World, which showcased Carnotaurus alongside Maip Macrosaurax, which is a 3-ton megaraptor. And I was a bit confused when I saw this, because even though they lived in a similar time period, they were found in different formations that were separated by a pretty substantial distance. The megaraptor was located in the Corilla Formation and the Carnotaurus in the Colonia Formation, so the chances of them meeting were slim to none. Maybe I'm wrong about this, and if I am, please let me know in the comments, but I haven't found any articles actually implying that the two ever came across each other. And Amazing Dino World, while very entertaining, gives some of their dinosaurs abilities that wouldn't be possible naturally. Carnotaurus at the time did, however, live some smaller abelisaurs and hunted a wide range of things from ankylosaurs, juvenile sauropods, and iguanodontids, so it's pretty versed in taking down decent sized armored prey. And its habitat varied from wetlands all the way to open plains. Now, another weird thing about this animal is that for not just an animal of its size but an abelisaur, it didn't have that high of a bite force at around 6,800 newtons, but its jaw structure and teeth clearly were capable of killing whatever it had to take out. As for the horns, that's either hit or miss. Some evidence points towards it being utilized more so for mating displays instead of hunting or fights, but some do claim that it could have charged at certain animals with its protrusions like an actual bull to cause some blunt force damage and stun the prey. But what about 7-ton tuskers who only feel rage for a few weeks throughout the year? Africa's herbivores are big. I mean, the biggest land versions live there. Things like white rhinos, rhinos on the plains of Africa can exceed 4 tons at their heaviest, and hippos can push 3. The hippos in particular would be a menace because you don't have to do much to set them off, and with a bite force of more than 8,000 newtons, no animal would want to get caught in the jaws of that thing, not even the crocodiles. Speaking of, the Nile crocodiles, which are the most common species in Africa, are chunks. Most males can exceed 1,200 pounds in a few decades, and the select bunch push past a ton, making them the most powerful predator in Africa, period. But speaking of predators, Africa has way too many to count, so I'll just look into some of the most dangerous. This includes wild dogs, leopards, spotted hyenas, and of course lions. 3 of these can hunt in large family groups to bring down prey much larger than themselves, with lions being able to pull down some truly massive animals. Most prides don't exceed 7 and are led by one single male or pair called a coalition. Usually they're brothers, however there are some prides that can contain more than 3 breeding males and 10 plus females. These are known as mega prides, and unless you are an elephant, things will look bright for you if they have you in their sights. Lionesses on average weigh anywhere between 330 to 380 pounds, with males getting up to 470. However, it's not uncommon to see real black made males in the 530 plus pound range, and with their brute strength and power they are able to bring down some of Africa's most deadly herbivores, including the Black Death. Yup, in Africa buffalo are known as death, weighing more than 1,800 pounds. Cave buffalo are walls of muscle and horn, and aside from them being one of the most dangerous game to hunt in Africa because you're not really attacking one, the entire herd takes offense to this, and in seconds, the attackers find themselves running for more than 30 enraged bovines. This is actually what kills a lot of lions aside from lions themselves. Cave buffalo are one of the leading causes of death for the big cats. There's a lot more herbivores obviously like giraffes, wildebeest, antelope, etc, but the video would be way too long, so let's finally put the Carnotaurus in already. So right off the bat, in terms of environment and temperature, it wouldn't be too bad because the earth was hotter back then, and while Carnotaurus usually roamed wetlands and coastlines, it did run rounds on Argentinian plains as well, so it should be able to at least tolerate the weather. In terms of prey, well, it has a wide selection, however without much cover unless it crouches down, it would be hard to really set an ambush sometimes, and a lot of these can outrun even this speedy theropod. Antelope and gazelle are almost immediately off the table, too fast and too small to be worth the chase. More common food items would likely be wildebeest, cave buffalo, and possibly giraffe. The carno is twice the weight of a cave buffalo, and while they have their herd mentality, I'm sure even they would not stick around after seeing a 2-ton reptile snag one of their members. But even a struggling buffalo has the potential to cause some serious injury if a horn got the underbelly or leg, and if the herd does step in to defend their own, the theropod would have to cut its losses, but that's not likely to happen. And the giraffe is basically the same size as the Carnotaurus, just much taller. At first I'd imagine this would intimidate it, but if even lions soon understand that they aren't nearly as heavy as they look, even the Carno's primitive brain can understand this too. But a well-placed kick from a giraffe could cripple or possibly even kill a Carnotaurus. That much force in a concentrated area directly to the head could be a death sentence. But this animal has experience tackling similar size or even larger dangerous prey, so more often than not a giraffe should be doable. However, real limitations start to happen when looking at the big 3 herbivores. I don't think a single Carnotaurus would head on try to tackle a hippo, rhino, or elephant unless desperate. It's gonna have to be an ambush, because hippos on average still are heavier than this dinosaur, and while its bite could do some damage to one, if a hippo gets a bite on the leg of this theropod, it would be disastrous. 8,000 newtons of force grabbing your legs with 4 spears is gonna be extremely painful, and even if it got away, blood loss and serious infection is a real risk. As for rhinos, well, it's unlikely it would charge the herbivore head on because it's a predator and would rather live to fight another day than risk serious injury, but given that it used to hunt large herbivores back then an ambush would be possible, and if it does get some good bites in, blood loss would set in, even against the rhino's thick plating. As for elephants, an adult would be almost impossible, even with an ambush. There's a reason I said juvenile sauropods instead of just sauropods when I started hunting them, because 2 tons isn't enough to bring down something 9 tons or more, especially back then when your bite force was 7,000 psi. I mean, it could do some serious damage, but no sauropod is just gonna stand still. Anyway, not only are elephants more than 3 times the weight of a Carnotaurus, they also travel in tight-knit herds led by a matriarch, and they kill to protect their own. Like, one's gotta be real desperate to attack it, and if it does, then it has like a 1 out of 10 chance of bringing it down. One stomp to the ribs or piercing by the tusk is all it takes. If it manages to somehow isolate a calf, then we're talking. The only time it likely will encounter an adult elephant alone is when a bull is roaming the plains in search of females. And I don't even think a Carnotaurus would mess with 7 tons of testosterone, especially during breeding season, where they literally, by definition, become the most aggressive animal on the planet. Yeah, they are. But overall in prey selection, it's gonna do alright, but let's talk about competition. So then, again, right off the bat, 99% of Africa's carnivores are getting eliminated. The leopards, hyenas, all that jazz. Only things that have even a chance of posing a challenge are the lions and the crocs. A small pride of lions likely stands no chance and would run for the hills if they saw Carnotaurus. Hell, the dinosaur might even view them as food. However, a mega pride like 16 plus does have a chance of turning the tables. But I'd imagine in a situation like this, neither party would advance because both groups are predators and it's better for one or the other to back away instead of dying over territory or just one meal. The crocs are interesting though. Even the largest male Nile crocs can't win in a head-on fight on land with the theropod. But the croc does have a few advantages, believe it or not. Bite force wise, the crocodile is a clear winner. It's likely not outrageous like the 22,000 Newton claim you see on Google, more so around 15,000 or 17 if we're being generous, because the greatest bite force from a crocodile, being a salty, was just under 17,000 newtons. The Nile also has sort of a territorial advantage and the element of surprise, because with the hot climate the carno will have to come down to drink a decent amount of times, and while some parts of the skin might be rough, their underside would likely be softer, and with more than 15,000 newtons clamping around their neck, even a Carnotaurus has the possibility of being killed here, even if the croc is only half the size. It's like that Wolverine that clamped onto a polar bear's neck in the zoo and killed it. However, that's a rarity, and only the largest of crocs have the ability to pull them off. They themselves are unfortunately rare now because of those idiot trophy hunters who kill them just to say they killed the big croc. Cowards. But hold on there is one predator I bet none of you were expecting me to mention. The Maasai used to hunt male lions as a sign of manhood, I think. However, that's been put to rest for the most part due to conservation. But they still do kill lions that go near their livestock. With this tribe that's efficient in what they do, a coordinated attack with spears that could pierce even the animal's hide could do the job. Most people have this perception that all dinosaurs were these indestructible things that had skin of steel. Well, they're not. The theropods that weren't feathered likely had similar skin texture to monitor lizards. Not all of them, but some, and they were obviously thicker due to size. Yes, it's rough and could take some hits, but it's still vulnerable to piercing damage, especially a flying spear more than 40 miles per hour at the head or the chest. However, the government likely would get involved here, and they'd just start killing or even relocating the animals. So for the sake of simplicity, let's leave out all humans. So could the Carnotaurus survive modern Africa? The plains to be more specific. Well, yeah, I think so. The climate's not that off, and aside from the occasional really long dry season where the rainy season skips like 3 to 4 months sometimes, they should be fine. While some prey might be a challenge, there are still a lot that can be taken down with minimal effort, and competition wise nothing can challenge it aside from a massive lion pride or the small percentage of mega crocs that can manage to get an ambush in it when it goes for a drink. But let me know what you guys think. Could the Carnotaurus actually pull through, or is it just way too different now? Also feel free to correct me if I made any errors, and do let me know if there are any sources saying the Maip, whatever it is, and the Carno live together. Honestly, would find that pretty cool. But that's pretty much it for this one, folks. I will see you in the next upload.